appreciation for cooperation in the production of this film is due Redlands High School, Redlands, California. Coach Ralph Weaver, his staff and team, and the University of Redlands for the use of their stadium. Representing the National Federation of State High School Athletic Associations, H.B. Porter, Secretary, and State Association Administrators. Representing the National Junior College Athletic Association, William J. Schleibaum, Compton College. Representing the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, A. Odour, Secretary, and P.J. Sarbo. The officials, Charles Burke, Missouri, Don Clarkson, George Thorne, and James Tooney, California. Ted Russo, New Mexico. Nothing in all the world of sports can match the color, the thrills, the excitement of football. It's a scientific game, shifting defense, fast-charging offense, intricate ball handling, a series of thrusts up the line to pull in the secondary, then lightning fast, a long pass downfield and touchdown. In a contest like that, equipment is vitally important. That's why champions win with Wilson. The amazing new Wilson TD football, for example, is a product of many years' research. Made of TD leather, specially tanned, it retains a dry leather feel under all weather conditions. Every piece of Wilson equipment has been scientifically developed for maximum player protection and years of service. Wilson T-square shoulder pads are padded with Emsolite for maximum protection and comfort. Tenite helmets combine Emsolite and latex foam rubber padding to absorb shock. The famous Wilson football shoe incorporates a revolutionary last for natural foot alignment and freedom of movement. And Wilson uniforms are styled and tailored for present-day speed and smart appearance. When the players are Wilson equipped, they go into the game with the confidence of champions. But despite all of their fierce loyalties, despite all the cheering and second-guessing, all the Monday morning quarterbacking, one fact is clear. Some of the most rabid football fans don't get as much out of the game as they might, simply because they don't know all the rules. This man here is a good example.
What was that? I don't know football. Why, I haven't missed a game in 20 years. Been sitting right here in these same seats every Saturday. Me and the little woman. I even taught her the difference between a touchdown and a fumble. And you say, I don't know football?
Could you prove it?
Prove it?
Yeah, just suppose that you found yourself in a position where you had to know the answers. Ever watch those quiz programs?
Well, sure, but...
Well, suppose you found yourself on the spot on a quiz show like this.
As the contestants pit their knowledge against fact on the $1 million quiz. Now, our first contestant is on the stand, ready to try for the big money. Good evening, sir. What is your name?
Ferguson J. Arbuthnot.
And your category, Mr. Arbuthnot, is football?
That's right.
Fine. Let's see if you can qualify as an expert and win the $1 million quiz. And you folks in the audience, why not play right along? Match your knowledge with an expert. Now, Mr. Arbuthnot, here is the first question. I have here a diagram of a football field with the offensive and the defensive teams in position. Now, I want you to tell me how many officials are on the field and name them.
There are 4 officials in a game. The referee, the field judge, the head linesman, and a timekeeper.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Arbuthnot. That is not correct. The correct title for the 4th official is...
The 4th official is the umpire. Each official is responsible for a certain section of the field, watches his own part of the play. On a play from scrimmage, this is what the referee sees. He concentrates on the offensive backfield. Here's the head linesman's view of the play. He watches the scrimmage line from the yardage chain side of the field. The umpire is stationed to get this view from behind the defensive team. The field judge watches the scrimmage line from the opposite side of the field from the head linesman. At the start of each half and after each try for point or field goal, the ball is placed at the 40-yard line, not on the line, but with its forward point just touching the line. And after a safety or touchback, the ball is placed in the same way with its forward point touching the 20-yard line. From this point, it is free kicked after a safety or snapped after a touchback. The yard stakes are positioned from the yard line through the forward point of the ball. Any measurement of forward progress is always to the rear edge of the next stake. If the offense fails to gain 10 yards in a series of 4 downs, the ball is awarded the opponents for a series by them. The former rear point of the ball now becomes the forward point. So actually the team taking over gets something for nothing, a gain of 11 inches, the length of the ball. One of the duties of the officials is to determine when and how timeouts should be charged. Time starts with a kickoff and continues uninterrupted until the clock is stopped for one of several reasons. It is stopped any time there is a score or touchback or when the ball goes out of bounds. It stops any time there is an incomplete forward pass, when a fair catch is made, and for purposes of measurement. It is stopped when any designated player is granted a timeout. Each team is allowed 4 charged timeouts and a half, during which one player from each team may go to the sidelines to confer with his coach. Time is taken whenever there is a player injury or when a foul has been committed.
Well, Mr. Arbuthnot, you failed to score on your first question. But before we go to question number 2, here's something that always scores.
It's Wheaties, breakfast of champions, packed with powerful whole wheat energy, rich with the spark that builds champions. Wherever energy counts, Wheaties helps you go all the way. With quicker reflexes, steadier nerves, and more real staying power when the chips are down. These are championship qualities. Often the difference between getting dumped for a loss or scoring a touchdown.
He must have had his Wheaties.
Yes, champions rely on Wheaties energy. Professional champs, too, like Lou the Toe Groza, iron nerve place kick artist of the Cleveland Browns. Lou says there's only one way to start the day, as far as I'm concerned, with Wheaties, breakfast of champions. It's the meal that scores with those who prize real energy. Wheaties, breakfast of champions.
And now to the next question. Are the sidelines a part of the field of play?
Why, certainly. They mark the lateral edges.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you're wrong again. The answer is...
The sidelines are not a part of the field of play. They are entirely out of bounds. Anytime a player in possession touches the line, the ball is out of bounds and becomes dead. However, the runner may hold the ball over the line so long as he is not touching the line. Even if the ball is touched by something out of bounds while in possession of a player in bounds, the ball is not dead. The pass receiver may reach over the line and make a legal catch. Or a smart receiver can make a save this way. If a receiver catches a pass in midair and lands out of bounds, the pass is incomplete. But if he lands inbounds and steps over the line, the pass is complete. However, if he muffs the pass and goes out of bounds on his first step, the pass is not complete since he never had possession. If a fumbled ball goes out of bounds, it belongs to the team which fumbled, regardless of who touched it last. And if a fumbled ball is touched by a player who is out of bounds, his touching kills the ball. He cannot secure a dead ball, thus it belongs to the fumbling team. Unlike the sideline, the goal line is more than a chalk stripe on the ground. It is a vertical plane. Anytime the ball touches anything while it is on or through this plane, it is in the end zone. The ball carrier himself doesn't have to go through the plane. This play, for example, how would you call it? The runner manages to get the ball through the plane just for an instant as he is tackled. So it's a touchdown. You don't think so? Watch it in slow motion. The plane at the goal line is in effect at all times. Any ball kicked from the field is dead immediately if it touches anything in or through the plane. If a kick receiver in the field reaches through the plane into the end zone to make a catch, it becomes a touchback the instant the ball is touched. But a receiver standing in the end zone may reach forward through the plane to make a catch and advance.
All right, Mr. Arbuthnot. Now we're ready for the next question. Now, we've all heard of the scrimmage line in football. Now, the question is this. What is the scrimmage line?
What is it?
Yes, define the scrimmage line.
Well, it's where all those linemen pile up together and... Well, what I mean is...
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid you're wrong. The correct answer is...
Actually, each team has its own scrimmage line, a perpendicular plane through the point of the ball nearest the team's own goal. The 11-inch area between the planes is the neutral zone at the snap. After the snap, it may expand. Offensive linemen must have their heads not more than 12 inches behind their scrimmage line. No player other than the snapper may be in the neutral zone at the snap. The snapper can be over the ball so long as his head is not beyond its forward point. All other players must be entirely behind the line. A player on the line, between the snapper and the man on the end of the line, cannot move after placing his hand on the ground. That's a false start. Sometimes the neutral zone widens after the snap to about 3 yards. So long as the lineman maintains contact in his charge, he is considered to be in the neutral zone. The neutral zone widens too on punts. If a kick touches any player in the zone, the touching is ignored. Even though the kicking team falls on the ball, it is awarded to the receivers in spite of the touching in the neutral zone. Blocking from the rear is not clipping if it occurs within the expanded neutral zone. However, in offensive blocking, linemen must observe the rules on the use of hands and arms. While a blocker's arm is in contact with an opponent, the hand must be held against the blocker's own body. It's a foul if the hands are not against the blocker's body, or if the forearm or elbow are used to strike an opponent, or hold or clamp him. Grasping an opponent's face mask is always a personal foul. The penalty is 15 yards. Ineligible players may not move beyond the neutral zone on a forward pass over the line until the pass has been touched. The only offensive players eligible to touch a forward pass beyond the line are those shown in special jerseys, the players on either end of the line, and the 4 backs. The instant a defensive player touches a pass, all offensive players are eligible to catch the ball and advance. If an ineligible player, such as player X here, moves beyond the neutral zone before the pass has been touched, it is a foul, and his team is penalized 15 yards. But ineligibles can legally move beyond the neutral zone to screen for a receiver if the pass is completed behind the scrimmage line. Here, the left guard and tackle cross over to form an effective screen. By shifting positions before the snap, a tackle, guard, or even the snapper can become an eligible pass receiver if he is on the end of the line. Here, the pass is completed to the snapper. Anytime the offensive team uses a shift, all players must come to a full 1-second stop before the snap. If they don't, it's a foul. There's a 5-yard penalty. If a player on the end of the line changes position, it's a shift and all players must come to a stop. An infraction of the backfield in motion rule is a foul with a 5-yard penalty. Under this rule, no back may be in motion toward the line of scrimmage at the snap. However, one backfield man may be in motion away from the line of scrimmage at the snap.
All right, Mr. Arbuthnot. Now, on this next question, I want you to watch the monitor as we show a film of a play. At the conclusion of the film, I'll ask you a question.
It's a pass play, but the intended receiver is pushed down by the defensive secondary, and he can't get to the ball.
Did you see anything illegal?
I certainly did. Why, that's the most flagrant sort of interference. Why, that end was knocked down to deliberately to keep him from catching the pass.
That's wrong. Now, the correct answer is...
No foul. Defensive pass interference restrictions begin when the pass is thrown and apply only if it crosses the scrimmage line. On that play, the intended pass receiver was legally pushed before the pass was thrown. Restrictions on the offense, however, start with the snap. Here, the offensive end makes contact. As soon as the pass crosses the line, interference is called. Once a pass is thrown, all eligible receivers and all defensive players have a right to attempt a catch. Interference with that right by the offense or the defense brings a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the snap. If offensive interference, the down counts. If defensive, an automatic first down is awarded. There may be contact without interference if two men try for a catch. In a simultaneous catch, the ball goes to the passing team. This is a touchdown. While the passer has the ball in his possession, he may be tackled. But once the ball is in flight, the rules protect him against avoidable contact. The penalty for this is 15 yards. A kicker is also protected. The penalty for charging into the kicker or place kick holder is 15 yards. Smart defensive players make their charge at an angle toward the ball rather than the kicker or the place kick holder. The rules also provide protection for the kick receiver. He may signal for a fair catch, one hand raised overhead and waved sideways. There is a 15-yard penalty for any avoidable contact on a fair catch. If a member of the kicking team touches a kick in flight beyond the line, or if it hits him accidentally, it is fair catch interference whether or not a fair catch signal has been given. The receiving team then has the choice of putting the ball in play by a snap or by a free kick. This time they elect to free kick. It's a field goal and 3 points.
Your next question. Can the ball be advanced if a receiver muffs a punt and it's recovered beyond the neutral zone by a member of the kicking team?
Well, certainly. Anybody can run with a fumble.
That's right. Anyone can run with a fumble. But this question concerned a muffed punt. And your answer, sir, is wrong. The correct answer is...
A punt muffed by the receiver beyond the neutral zone continues to be a kicked ball since there was no player possession. It may be recovered, but not advanced. A punt muffed in the field and recovered by the kicking team in the end zone is a touchback. The ball became dead when it touched the ground in the end zone. But if the receiver makes a catch, has possession, and then fumbles, the fumble may be recovered and advanced by any player. Touchdown. Any time a backward pass or fumble is muffed, the ball may be recovered and advanced. Any fumble can be recovered and advanced. If the ball carrier pretends to fumble forward trying to gain extra ground, it's an illegal forward pass. A forward handoff on a kick or anywhere beyond the scrimmage line is a foul with a 5-yard penalty. Here's the legal way to make a handoff.
Well, now, Ferguson, let's see if you can't try to score with a different type of question. You know, of course, that all scrimmage plays begin with the snap of the ball.
Oh, sure.
All right, now, which would you say came closest to the number of possible snap infractions that might be called? 3, 12, or 20?
Plus, 3, 20 sound like. I'd say 12.
No, I'm afraid you're wrong. The right answer is...
There are more than 20 possible infractions of the snap rule, starting with the manner in which the snapper holds the ball. He may place his hands anywhere on the ball, and he may tilt it prior to the snap. But he must not move the ball out of the neutral zone. This is an infraction of the snap rule. The axis of the ball must be at right angles to the scrimmage line. You can't do this. Once he has placed his hands on the ball and prior to the snap, the center may not move his hands along it or lift it from the ground. And he cannot shift his feet or body in any way that might constitute a false start. All are infractions. The snap must be made with one quick swipe, and the ball must leave the snapper's hands. This trick play is illegal. It's legal to make the snap this way, provided it's done in one continuous motion. Here it's two motions and a foul.
Well, now, Ferguson, let's try a question on penalties. Now, I want you to watch the screen, and when the play is over, you call the penalty for me. Now then, did you detect the foul?
Well, I certainly did. Offensive clipping.
That's right, so far. Now, can you tell me this? From what point is the penalty measured?
Well, since the penalty nullified the play, from the spot of the snap. No, from the spot of the... Well, it's up to the defensive captain.
I'm afraid that's too many answers. Now, the right answer is...
The penalty is measured from the spot of the foul. The 3-in-1 system provides a quick method of determining the spot from which penalties are measured. On a running play, the basic spot is the point where the run ends. During this play, if the defense commits a foul anywhere on the field, the penalty is measured from the basic spot. If the offense commits a foul ahead of the basic spot, the penalty is measured from the point where the run ends. But if the offense commits a foul behind the spot, the penalty is from the point of the foul, since it is assumed it aided the runner to gain. On any loose ball play, such as a punt or a legal forward pass, the basic spot is the spot of the snap. If the offense commits a foul behind the spot, the penalty is from the spot of the foul. All other fouls are penalized from the spot of the snap. As soon as the punt is caught and the run back begins, it becomes a running play. The 3-in-1 system is designed so that a team seldom needs to decline a penalty. The advantage of acceptance is nearly always automatic.
Well, now, Ferguson, again, I want you to watch the screen. Ready?
Yes.
It's a punt from the end zone. The kick is high and short. The ball bounces off the receiver's chest and back into the end zone and is recovered by the kicking team.
Now then, how would you call the play?
Well, since the ball hit the member of the receiving team and was recovered by the kicking team in the end zone, why, I'd give it to them on the 20-yard line.
In other words, you'd call it a touchback.
Yes, I would.
And you'd be wrong. Here's the right answer.
Score it as a safety. The question here is one of force. Force applies only at the goal line, and so long as the ball is in flight, cannot be changed. Despite the fact that the ball changed directions when it struck a member of the receiving team, the original force was the kick. The offensive team put the ball in the end zone, so it's a safety. On the other hand, if the ball strikes the ground before it is touched, the force can be changed. This time, it is the receiving team that puts the ball in the end zone, so it is a touchback.
Well, that was your last question, sir, and I'm afraid you failed to answer any correctly. So you wind up with a score of 0. I'm sorry. That way out.
Pin them down, and a lot of the second guessers don't know as much about football as they would lead you to believe. And yet,
Penalty? What for? What did we do wrong? Did you see anything wrong? I'm asking you, did you? I asked you, what did we do wrong?
Very simple, Ferguson. You see, the play was designed to make the left tackle an eligible receiver. The left end dropped off the line, and the right half took a position outside the right end. But they missed the count and moved too late.